I do, I am a mindset coach. I am also an author. I am also a keynote speaker. And what it is that I do, I go to different places. I go to elementary schools. I go to community colleges. I go to churches. I go to businesses. And I have conversations with people concerning their mindset. And I help them to begin to figure out what it is that they want to do with themselves and what they want to do with their life. And I'm going to tell you something that you guys will probably be surprised about. There are a lot of adults who still don't know what they want to do with their life. And because you young ladies have decided to be here, you have set yourselves apart from so many other teenagers. You have set yourselves apart from so many other people because you have decided, or your parents have decided, to invest it in you. And so that's the first thing I want to tell you. And before we get into anything, it's something that I always like to start everything that I do with. So I want each and every one of you to pat yourself on the chest, and I want you to repeat after me. Say, I am somebody. We can do a little bit better than that. I am somebody. I am somebody. I'm smart. I'm strong. I'm wise. I am somebody. And so when we begin to do that, that's something that is called an affirmation. And what an affirmation is, that is when you begin to speak positively over yourself. You're telling yourself and you're reminding yourself of your greatness, and you're reminding yourself of the things that have been invested in each and every one of you. And so this morning, as we get started, I got a question. Who has a cell phone? If you got a cell phone, I want to see your hand up. Okay, so put your hands down. Who is on Team Android? 1, 2, 3. We got Team Android. We got 3 Team Androids along with myself. Who's on Team Apple? We got more Apples than Androids. You can put your hands down. We're going to pray for y'all Apple users because you do know that apples get worms. And you do know that apples decay. Just a little cell phone joke. But I want to talk to you about this morning is that even though with our mind, even though we have our cell phones, our mindsets are the same. And so what I want you to do, I want you to pull out your cell phone. All you Apple guys, all you Apple ladies, I want you to pull out your cell phone. Even though you may have the exact same brand, you don't have to open it up right now, but I want you to show me your home screen and look at everybody else's home screen that is around you who have an Apple or Android product. You may have the exact same product, but all of your home screens are different. Your screensavers. And so when we begin to think about that, this is how our brains and this is how our minds are. We all have the exact same brain. It has the same capabilities, but how we decide to mold it and how we decide to shape it is absolutely important. And so when we begin to think about that, it's what we begin to think about it. Our mindset is how we begin to see the world. So who's ever heard about mindset? Can somebody tell me what you think mindset is? Good job. Yes, ma'am. You're right. Someone else? Yes, ma'am. Your mentality. Yes, I love that. Your mentality. Someone else? Anybody else? Great. And so all of you guys are right. So your mindset is just like your cell phone. And when we think about it, it can be powerful, it can be useful, and it can be life-changing, only if you know how to keep it going. And when we begin to think about this mindset, our mindset is how we shape our view on the world. And our mindset is controlled by 3 things: your beliefs, your behaviors, and your habits. Can you repeat that after me? Say, my beliefs, my behaviors, and my habits. Those are the things that shape our mindset. And oftentimes when we begin to think about us as being younger people, I'm considering myself young as well. A lot of times the people that are around us, they begin to shape our mindsets, and we allow them to influence our mindsets to the point. But there's a biblical truth. There's a biblical proverb that says, as a man or as a woman think in their heart, so is he. And it's absolutely important that we begin to think about what we're thinking about.
Yes.
I'm going to say that again. It's absolutely important that we begin to think about what we are thinking about. Because when we're not thinking about what we're thinking about, a lot of times our minds begin to flourish, our minds begin to flow in different directions that are not important, that's not engaging to us. And so when we think about our mindset, our beliefs, our behaviors, and our habits, those are the frameworks that shape our mind. So now I'm going to teach you 5 things. I want you to say 5 things, that shape our mindsets. There are 5 things that each and every one of us go through every single day that we have lived through that shape our mindsets. And if you can learn how to control these 5 things, your mindset is going to be different and your mindset is going to be awesome. And we're going to set you guys up to thrive as young ladies. We're going to set you guys up to thrive as young leaders. And so the first thing that influences our mindset is our environment. Our environment. And so when we begin to think about our environment is what surrounds us and what we are around constantly. And a lot of times when we are in environments, whether it's home, whether the environment we're in school, and even this environment right here, this is shaping your mindset. Yes. Believe it or not. And so if you have people who grew up in negative environments, that environment can shape their mindset in a negative way. But on the flip side, I know a whole bunch of people who grew up in negative environments that decided not to allow their environment to shape their mindset. I'm going to say that again. There are a lot of people who grew up in negative environments and that are still in negative environments that are not allowing that negativity to shape their mindset. And so the question I have for you on this morning is, how are you going to allow your environment to shape your mindset? Since you're in this place right here, you're surrounded by people who are thinking similar to you. You're surrounded by people who are interested in the same things. And so when you're around people who are interested in the same things, our environment shapes our thinking. If you're around the negativity, if you're around chaos or people who start to settle and think that is normal. How many of you know some people that have started settling in their life? Some people who don't want more for themselves. Some people who don't want you to do more for yourself. Some people who they're just so negative, so pessimistic, so down. They always find something wrong with everything. I heard somebody else say the most exercise that negative people do is jump to conclusions. And a lot of times when you have negative people, you can have the most beautiful rose in the world and they'll be complaining about the thorns. And so when we think about people, negative people, these are the people that are in our environment. But when we place ourselves in environments like this, environments where you got people who are surrounding you that want you to grow, when you got people in the environment that want you to do better, to become better, these are the environments that we begin to flourish in. Can we say environments? Environments. Now, my technology is not working with me again, so I need you to follow me. Hey, I'm over here. Come on. Let's try it again. We up here. Boy, I tell you, technology is great there we go. All right, there we go. So now, the next thing that influences our mindset is our experiences. Can you say your experiences? And so experience is something, and just to let you know, we got 3 more E's to go. So all of these things that's going to shape our mindset are going to start with the letter E. And the letter E is for alliteration. And so we're going to work through these. So the next one is our experiences. Each and every one of us have a different experience in life. Your experience is going to be different from my experience. All of you ladies' experience is going to be different from mine because I am a male. But nobody's experience is exactly like yours. I'm going to tell you something you already know, and you probably haven't thought about it today. Your fingerprints are totally unique. Watch this. Your ear print is totally unique. Watch this. Your eyes are totally unique. The way your teeth are in your mouth is totally unique to you. There is absolutely nobody in the world that has your body, has your brain, or will have your experience. They may be similar, but it's not going to be the exact same thing. And so when we think about experiences, it is important for us to be in experiences and to have experiences that are going to shape us in the right way. The next thing about experiences can be negative too. Experiences can be negative too. But even though we may have negative experiences, it is up to us to try to frame it or find something positive in that negative experience. The old folks say you got to find the silver lining in the dark clouds. You want to find something positive in the midst of everything that you're going to go through. Because if you don't, the negative experience can turn you into that negative person. That negative experience can turn you into someone else that's not going to be productive and that's not going to help you get to the points and the places that you want to be in your life. And so that next E is going to be experience. When we think about experiences, every struggle, every win, every loss leaves a mental imprint. But I like to say it like this: I don't lose, I learn. Yes. I don't lose, I learn. Can you repeat that after me? I don't lose, I learn. And if you're a great note taker, that may be something that you might want to write down. I don't lose, I learn. Because these are the lessons in life. Every experience has a lesson for us to learn. Sometimes it's painful. Sometimes it's an uncomfortable truth. And we might not like the lesson that we have to learn. But every single experience that we go through, there's a lesson in it. Your past experiences train your mind how to interpret your future possibilities. What you've gone through in the past and how you choose to look at it is going to help you ladies see your future. It's going to help you see your present. Because even if it's a negative experience, if you look at a negative or have a negative point of view, everything messed up. The world's terrible. Kinston terrible. My life terrible. I'm here and everybody in Kinston is terrible. But a lot of times these are people who are allowed the negative experiences to shape their mindsets and to shape their life. But you, ladies, have the power, you have the right, and you have the decision-making skills to choose how you would interpret your experiences. Hurt can make you guarded. Has anybody else ever been hurt? I know I ain't the only one that's been hurt. I've fallen off motorcycles. I fell out trees. I've been in car accidents. But some of the most hurt that I've ever experienced in my life was dealing with people. Yes. And people will hurt you in your life. Your friends are going to talk about you. They're going to find something to say. They're going to gossip about you. They may be in the group text talking about you. We all know about it. Social media, we experience these things and we feel the hurt because we may not look like we may want to look. We may not dress like everybody else may dress. But the fact of the matter is, even though you may be hurt, you're still yourself. And nobody else's opinion matters. It's how when you look in that mirror, when you take that selfie with your phone, if you are proud of the person that you see in that, that is most important. Thank you, sir. You're exactly right. And you decide in each and every one of these experiences defines and it develops who you are. The next E is going to be your education. Can I get you to say education? Education. Now, education is not just about school. We learn a lot in school, but we also learn a lot in life. Every situation, every day that you are awake, you are learning something. And not only do you want to learn in school, but you want to challenge yourself to learn the lessons in life. In these environments and these experiences right here, you're learning. You're going to learn throughout these next few days. You're going to learn about life. You're going to learn about leadership. You're going to learn about yourself. You're going to learn about so many different things over these next few days. And education is something that nobody can take away from you. And when you think about school, while you're going to school, you learn there too as well. And so there's some of the things that you're going to learn. There's some things that you can apply to your life. And when we learn things, when we apply things, we start seeing how our life can change. Our mindset are built by what we allow in our mind. My question to you on today is, what are you learning? What are you allowing into your mind? The word says it like this, that we should guard our hearts. Because when we guard our hearts, when we keep our hearts, this is where the issues of life, this is where all our thoughts, how we see the world, how we see ourselves and other people comes from. So what are you putting in your mind? What are you scrolling through? What pages are you following? What people are you following? And so when we begin to think about this, all of this is education, because your brain is wired to learn. Believe it or not, your brain is wired to take in information. You're listening, you're watching, and all of these things right here, your brain is taking in these things, and this is all education. Formal education or informal education rewires your brain to interpret your life. The more you learn, the more you grow, and the more options that your mindset can realize. So when we're looking to learn, we're always looking to grow. Someone said it best. They said that the day that you stop learning is the day that you cease to exist. The day that you stop learning, the day that you cease to exist. And so when we're learning, when we're going through life, education is important. School is important. Whatever it is that you want to be, college is a great thing, but college isn't for everybody. Learn a trade. Find something that somebody needs, because when we find something that somebody needs, we'll always have a way to be of service. We'll always find a way to help someone else. So watch this. I'm gonna give you a prime example. Who has hair? That is an industry that everybody is going to need at some point. All ladies like to get their hair done. Who has nails? Most women like to get their nails done. And so while you're thinking about this, maybe a doctor isn't something that you want to be, but you can always serve other people. You can always make financial income by finding a way to do something that everybody needs. The fourth E, expectation. Expectation. Expectation shapes your mindset more than anything else that you can believe. Because what you expect out of yourself and what you expect out of life typically is going to start happening. If you expect negative things to happen, if you're not speaking positive things over yourself, you influence your life more than you think you do. And so when we begin to find the power of expectation, and I believe that expectation is our greatest superpower. I believe that expectation is our greatest superpower. And what you believe is possible. I'm going to say that again. What you believe is possible. If you can think about it, if you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to have that discipline, if you're willing to tell yourself no, if you're willing to go that extra mile, because what I found, the extra mile is not a lot of people there. There's a lot of people that want to settle. There's a lot of young ladies that are not willing to be in these type of environments. And so because you've decided to be here, you can expect more out of yourself, because you're going to get the tools, you're going to get the information so that you can thrive and that you can have a wonderful life. This is big. Your expectation sets your ceiling. If you don't believe something is possible, you won't pursue it. You won't go after it with everything you got. But when you believe that there is nothing stopping you but yourself, I want you to know that it may be a lot of things in front of you. It may have some obstacles. You may have some hurdles, but the only thing that's going to be able to stop you is your mindset. And if you're willing to keep going and you're willing to keep investing in yourself, your future and what you can accomplish is absolutely phenomenal. Low expectations, they limit our actions, but elevated expectations, they fuel boundaries, they fuel boldness, and your mindset will always rise or fall at the level of your belief. That's good. Your mindset in your life is gonna rise or fall at the level of your belief. And I know a lot of people that they've lost their belief. A lot of young people you go to school with, they may have lost their belief in themselves. But don't you ever lose your expectation of yourself. The last E, and I'm on my way out, is going to be examples. Examples. And so the examples, who are some examples that you look up to? Can I get some folks? Anybody? Do you look up like a favorite female or a strong woman? Yes, ma'am. Your mama. Can you tell me why you look up to your mama?
Because she's strong and she don't, she put other people first.
That's big. I think that says a lot about your mom. You have somebody, ma'am?
My grandma.
Wow. Tell me about your grandma.
So every time like one of my uncles or grandchildren or like my cousins or whatnot, they ask, can I borrow this? I pay you back. She'll hand it out. And she'll just give it to her. And then sometimes she'll have nothing left for herself. Not to feel bad for her. And I just do what she asks me. Like, she asks me, I take the trash out, I help her around the house and stuff like that. And she calls me every morning and we talk every morning.
Wow. That's beautiful. And I want to encourage you as a granddaughter, and I want to encourage you as a daughter, keep those connections, because mothers and grandmothers are pillars in your life.
Yes.
I don't have, both of my grandmothers are gone now, and I would give anything in the world to be able to just have a conversation with them. So you guys value those ladies that are in your life, because that's absolutely important. And I think that the examples that we have, they set our standard. And I want to let you guys know that the standard isn't the highest you're going to go. The standard is your floor. I'm going to say that again. The standard isn't as high as you're going to go. The standard is the floor. Because when we say standard, standard has the word stand. And wherever you choose to stand at, that is the very lowest you need to be. Wherever you choose to stand at, that needs to be the lowest you choose to be in your life. And so when you start thinking about that, there's always a ladder. There's always an elevator. There's always an escalator. There's a way for you to get higher. So wherever you set your standard at, that is where you need to stand at, and don't go no lower. And always remember that. Examples, the people you follow influence your mindset. Your grandmother influenced your mindset, because watch this, when we're watching these women, when we're watching these examples, we're learning. When we're watching these examples, we're gathering from their experience and we're learning, I'm looking at that. Some of these things are good. Some of these things are not so good. But whatever you see from them that you want to bring into your life, bring it in. Learn from their examples. A smart person learns from their mistakes. A wise person learns from the mistakes of others. And so when we're looking at our examples, sometimes we don't get the best thing from our examples. But whatever we're getting, we want to allow them to influence our mindsets in positive ways. Whether it's our parents, whether it's our peers, our friends, our pastors, or influencers, someone is shaping how you see success. Someone is shaping how you see failure, and someone is shaping how you see yourself. But ultimately, how you see yourself is the most important thing. And so those are the 5 things that are going to influence our mindsets. That's going to be our environment, our experience, our education. I just went blank. Expectations. And then our examples. Those 5 things are the things that influence our mindsets. And sometimes we don't know about it. Sometimes we don't think about it. But because you ladies are here, you already getting the game. This is free game for you. And so when you start thinking about this, how can I influence my mindset myself? And whatever ways that you can do it, maybe it's getting out of certain environments. Maybe it's stop having certain conversations. Maybe it's not following certain examples. Maybe it's about your education. Whatever it is that you need to do to start influence your mindset, this is the questions that you want to start asking. What you around, the things you've been through, the things that you are learning, and what you believe is possible and who you're watching are absolutely important, because your mindset is not random, it's built. Your mindset isn't random, it's built. The same way your cell phone has been built, the same way Apple decides what you see on your screen, the same way that Android decides what we see on our screen, which is a lot better than Apple's. personal thing, and we could talk about that later. But whatever that is, someone decided what's going to be on those cell phones and how those cell phones are going to operate. In the same way that someone decided how your cell phone is going to be made and what it's going to do, you can decide what your mind and what your mindset is going to do. You design your own life. You design your own mindset. And whatever it is that you want to put in it, I believe Coach Lily has it in her book. She tells you to guard your mind, the things that watch what you allow to get in. And so you want to be that person that's going to be that barrier to keep the negative things out of your mind. And so however way you decide to design your mind is going to be up to you. And so listen, as I begin to bring this to a close, there's two types of mindsets that I want you to remember. There are two types of mindsets primarily, or generally speaking, there's two types of mindsets. And I wrote my book, Committed, the Mindset That Fuels Progression, which is the third type of mindset that I came up with. But there's two primary types. The first type of mindset is a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset. Can somebody tell me what you think a fixed mindset is? Yes, ma'am.
You're already set on something?
Yes.
Smart girl.
Who are you?
Maya?
Maya. You are very intelligent. Yes, ma'am. That's so good. And so when I think about a fixed mindset, I think about concrete. And a person with a fixed mindset, once their mindset gets fixed, they're not going to move. They're not going to change. And a lot of times when you talk to older people, they tell you, I've been this way all my life and I don't plan on changing yet. And when you talk to people who have these fixed mindsets, they can't grow. When you think about concrete, concrete cannot be moved once it's settled. And there's a lot of people that we know, friends, adults, they're just so fixed on doing one thing. They're fixed on a way of life. They're fixed on negativity. They're fixed on finding faults with everybody else around them and not saying I'm the issue, whatever it is. And so when we have a fixed mindset, we can't move. And I want you to avoid that mindset, because that fixed mindset doesn't allow you to become better. It doesn't allow you to grow, and it doesn't allow you to change. When people have a fixed mindset, it says, I am who I am and I can't change. Jay-Z said it best back in the day, I'll never change. That was one of his songs. And so when we're doing that, it tells you when folks have a fixed mindset, they say either I'm good or I'm not good. People with a fixed mindset, they don't like challenges. Anything that forces them to grow, anything that forces them to do something different, I don't like that. And as you begin to grow, you're going to meet people who hate change. And most of the time, people who don't like to change, it's a strong possibility that they've got a fixed mindset. And so when you just start thinking about your life, think about yourself. Do you have a fixed mindset sometimes? I think we all have a fixed mindset sometimes. But the thing is that we don't want to spend more time being fixed, because the more time you spend being fixed, you'll never grow. People with a fixed mindset, they fear failure. Because they don't want to take a chance. They don't want to take the risk. And when we think about risk, where there is no risk, there is no reward. Wow. Where there is no risk, there is no reward. And ladies, there are going to be some things that you're going to have to risk. You're going to have to risk being comfortable. You may have to risk losing some friends. You may have to risk being afraid and being scared. But when you go after what it is that you want, you're going to get that reward. Because I'm telling you, there is nothing stopping you except your own mind. And when we begin to get our mindset in the right direction, we can start moving and we can take these risks. I heard someone use the acronym, they say TRAP. And what TRAP means, you take risks and progress. T-R-A-P. You take risks and progress. You take risks and you prosper. And so when you start taking these risks, ladies, I want you to be risk takers, but I want you to take the right risk. Because some risks, the consequences are not even worth it. The next thing about the fixed mindset, they see effort. They see their effort as being pointless. They feel like I tried and my effort isn't good enough. But when you're doing the right things and you're willing to have the right conversations with people and you're in this environment, whatever you put your mind to, you can achieve it. Now, the flip side of the coin would be the growth mindset. Can I get you to say growth mindset?
Growth mindset.
And so when I think of the growth mindset, I think about the grass. I think about the trees. I think about the flowers. And I think about each and every one of you. Because you are not the same size person you were when you were born. When you were born, you were just tiny. Well, you might have not been tiny, but whatever that is. You was a baby. You couldn't walk. You couldn't feed yourself. You couldn't clothe yourself, and somebody had to take care of you. But as you begin to grow, I want you to think about your life and your mindset as that baby. You've come so far in your life. You couldn't even walk. Who remembers when they learned how to tie their shoe? Wasn't that difficult? It was hard. When you started learning your letters, when you started learning how to read, all of that was difficult. But look at you now. You ain't even think about how to spell words when you texting. And so this is how you grow. And a lot of times when we are willing to grow, you'll never know how far you're willing to progress. Because if your parents would say, oh, she's not walking when she's by 9 months, I'm going to start trying to teach her how to walk. Oh, she's not talking by the time she's a year old, I'm going to stop teaching her how to talk. No. Somebody was willing to work with you. The best person that is going to work with you is yourself. Whew. The best person that's ever going to work with you is yourself. And the conversations that you have inside your head are the most important conversations that you're ever going to have. And so when we think about growth, we must be willing to expand. We must be willing to get larger than what it is that we may be currently facing. And so the growth mindset says that I can learn, I can grow, and I can get better. I can learn, I can grow, and I can get better. And that is the only thing I'm ever going to ask you to do. That's the only thing I ever ask my daughters to do. You ain't got to be perfect. I just want you to get better. I just want you to be willing to put in some work. I want you to be willing to make small adjustments, because small tweaks can lead you to huge peaks. And it's the small things that we do when we learn these things that make us better individuals. So people with the growth mindset, they embrace the challenges. Even though things are hard, I'm willing to try it. And even when things do get hard, whether it's in school, whether it's in life, I want you to know that you're built for this. Whatever's in front of you, I don't care how big it is, how tough it is, you tell yourself, I am built for this. I have been wired to handle these situations. I've been crafted for a calling. And my mindset is that I'm going to build the momentum within myself. Whatever the challenge is, you tell yourself, I'm built for this. Because the word tells us that greater is he that is in me than he that is within the world. And when we're connected with him, we're stronger, we're wiser, and we are better because we're willing to grow. The next thing that people with a growth mindset is they learn from feedback. Do you know somebody who nobody can tell them nothing? You can't tell me nothing. Or when they get feedback, they allow the feedback to crush them. They feel sad. They be like, oh, you trying to hurt me. It does. And a lot of times feedback doesn't feel good. Sometimes feedback is like, oh man, that's a blow to my pride. But feedback is fuel. Feedback is food on how you can become better. And a lot of feedback you don't need to listen to, but I suggest you take feedback, you judge feedback by the person that's giving it. Because a lot of times people that are giving you feedback, they don't care about who you are. But the people that are willing to be like, hey, you can get better at this. I know you got more in you. You can try a little bit harder. Let's go about it this way. Because there's a difference between somebody criticizing you and coaching you. There's a difference between a critic and a coach. And you want to be connected to the people that are going to coach you. The people that are going to push you, and they're going to get you to do better and to become better individuals. So you learn from feedback. They see effort as the path to mastery. Say, listen, I may not understand it now, but I'm going to figure it out as I go. And when you start putting forth that effort, when you start saying that, listen, I can get better. I may not be the best in the world right now, but every person that you look up to, they started at the bottom. They were willing to put in the effort, because I like to say what we do behind the scenes qualifies us when we get on the scene to be seen. And so when we're willing to do these small things and we're willing to learn, when we're willing to practice and put in those repetitions, because our brain, that's how we learn. The more we do things, the better we get at it. So the growth mindset is absolutely important. The fixed mindset, so here's the difference. Fixed mindset says, I failed, so I'm a failure. The growth mindset says, I failed, but now I know what not to do next time. And so when we begin to think about that, these are the lessons that we learn. One stays stuck and the other one steps forward. One stays stuck and the other is willing to take the steps forward. My question to you ladies, what type of mindset do you want to have? Yes. They said a growth mindset. I love that. And so as I bring this to a close, the good news is this. You can choose whatever mindset you operate in. You have the power to make the choice. You have the power to make the decision. How are you going to live your life and what mindset that you're going to operate in? My encouragement, my hope to you today is that I've said something that is going to encourage you, that's going to push you, that's going to motivate you, that's going to inspire you, that's going to make you want to embrace the growth mindset. And you ladies are in a phenomenal environment today that's going to help your growth mindset flourish. They're going to water you. They're going to give you some sunlight. They're going to feed you. They're going to give you some fertilizer. They're going to give you everything you need to grow your growth mindset. You can't always control. I want you to remember this. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond to it. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond to it. And just like your phone needs updates, you've got to update your mind as well. Just like your cell phone needs updates, you have to update your mindset as well. Because just like when those updates come, sometimes I don't want to wait that few minutes without my phone. But if you don't, your phone is going to lag. If you don't, some of your apps are going to crash. They're not going to work the way you want them to work. In the same way within your life, update your mindset. And through these next few days, this is your software update for your brain. You've got some people that's going to pour some things into you. You got some people that's going to give you some game, that's going to teach you some things. Don't run today or tomorrow or the rest of your life on yesterday's thinking. Don't run today or tomorrow on yesterday's thinking, because your future of what you want will always demand a better mindset from you. Who you want to be, the young lady, the older lady that you see yourself becoming, is going to demand a better mindset for you. So always, always, always be willing to update your mindset. So that's my time. And I want to know, do you ladies have any questions for me? I am open. Anything that we talked about mindset, anything that you have that you want to ask me, I'm an open book and we can have a conversation.
Do you have like a wellness center or do you just speak to people?
Right now, I just speak to people. Like I said, I go to different places and things of that nature, but I'm working on building that. I have a vision, I have a plan, and step by step and having conversations with people like you is helping me grow my mindset so that I can be able to get to the goals that I want to get to. Yeah, but we do have an office, and it's on 2502 North Heritage Street, right across from Roses. So that's where we do a lot of our thinking, and we're going to start doing classes and everything else there.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You say you're gonna do classes.
Yes, ma'am.
So what? I'm thinking about your clientele. Who will benefit from those classes?
Okay.
Now, what I'm thinking about is like these guys that are exiting prison. You know, their mindset is, but some of them are good people. Some of them was raised by Christian people. But they just need, it's the mindset.
Right.
So, and especially here in Kinston. Now, I moved back to Kinston. I said I was never coming back. But, God said, go home. So I'm here. And I'm having to do this, what you were saying about my mindset. Because I don't have good memories of Kinston and what I had to deal with. So, and hearing you saying you're going to be doing classes and all of that, I'm just wondering, just think about those guys. All of them are not hardened criminals that's going to come in there and rob you. Some of them need some help. Because some of us have teetered right there to the point that we could have been them. Nobody's perfect. We just have one person, is perfect. And so I'm just wondering, I know Hope Restoration is here in Kinston and they are portraying, to do some things, but, because I know about them, I work with them and all of that, but I'm just thinking, what you've done is great in here, ladies. It is really, really great. I took some notes, some good notes, and I'm just thrilled that you came. We look forward, if Miss Williams say so, to have you again next year.
Yes, ma'am. And to your point, I do go to prisons. I've been to Eastern. I've been to, what's the other one? Murray. And I've been there, and I've also been to Dobbs School. And so to having a conversation with these men and different things of that nature like that is absolutely important. And that's a population that I do deal with. And what I'm finding out also for me that I focus on 4 things. I focus on relentless resiliency because I think that life is going to hit us with some things, and we have to know not just how to bounce back, but how to bounce back better and to bounce back stronger. The next thing I focus on, what I teach the men and just different people that I deal with, is emotional intelligence. That's a skill, that's a trait that is lacking in so many adults and is lacking in so many kids. And so, just teaching them emotional intelligence early on in life will be able to help them as they begin to grow and navigate through life. The next thing I focus on is relational intelligence, because relationships are absolutely important. And we have to learn how to navigate that. And then the last thing I teach is what I'm doing here, which is the mindset. And so I think that all of those things, and the clientele that I help frustrated achievers get to their next level. And that's the folks that I deal with. Those are the majority of the clients that I work with. And so that's what I do. And I thank you ladies for having me. Any other questions for me?
What's your book called?
Great question, ma'am. My book, matter of fact, I have a copy of it here. And I have to give Coach Lily one as well, because she's asked me. This is my book right here. It's available on Amazon. And what I talk about in my book is my experiences for me coming home as a combat veteran. I deployed to Iraq. We lost 4 soldiers during that deployment. And when I came home, I had PTSD. Well, I battled with PTSD, anxiety, and depression. And I didn't want to open up with what was going on inside of my head, but I started going to therapy. And a therapist is what changed my life. So if I hadn't gone to therapy, the person that you see right now would not be standing in front of you. And I am 100% certain that I will be either in a grave, I would be one of those persons that she was talking about that's locked up, or I'd be in a mental institution. And so I'm telling you that therapy changed my life. And I want you ladies to know, you don't have to hold in everything that is going on inside of here. There are people who are trained to help you deal with these things, and you don't have to live your life like that. And there's a lot of people who refuse to have those conversations that they make their decisions. So again, don't have a fixed mindset, have that growth mindset, and be willing to grow and be willing to flourish. Thank you, ladies, for your time. Thank you for your attention. And y'all have a great day.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
My cousin posted it on his page. Y'all can try looking there.